Get ready for a great show, all you junior birdsmen. We will show you one save after another. Tell everyone to be quiet because you won't want to miss a minute of this show. Celebrate with all of us as you make your way to that favorite spot. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a lot of fun stuff tonight on the show.
We do. Just about everybody's in action. The swimming and diving team will start on Saturday. We've got a preview of their team coming up at the end of the show. Nordic skiing was supposed to start this past week. Obviously, that didn't happen. They're hoping to get started on Friday.
Got a tiny bit of snow. Very little.
Yeah, a tiny bit of
enough.
snow, but temperatures that are supposed to be in the 40s again by the end of the week. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We will have a preview of them either next week or the week after. It all kind of depends on how the weather plays out. Yep. But a lot of teams getting in action this week and a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we'll always have exciting stuff to talk about on this show.
Well, we're going to start with the boys hockey team. The Cardinals had a packed house at the Crick on Thursday for their home opener as they hosted conference rival Blaine. Bengals lost a close game to top-ranked Lakeville South in their season opener, so both teams came in at 0-1. Cardinals kept it close until the midway point, but then Blaine ran away with the game and dropped the Cardinals to 0-2. First period, Cardinals on a power play, but Blaine springs Nick Mikan on a breakaway, and he doesn't miss. A shorthanded goal put the Bengals on top by 2. But the Cardinals answered quickly on that same power play. They work it down low. Then Kamani Poor able to score at the back door, and that gets it back to a 1-goal game. Move into the second period, 3-1 early in the period. Cardinals get a fortunate bounce. Nate Clark's pass goes off the Blaine defender and over the keeper. It's another power play goal, and Coon Rapids is back within a goal once again. But Blaine dominated this game, and they pull away midway through the second. The cross-ice pass is deflected, but Finn Loftus able to spin and score in close. That was just the spark they needed. It was the first of 3 goals in less than 2 minutes. Loftus to Landon Steffen walking in. He scores on the wrist shot. Bengals have a 6-2 lead going to the third, and they continue to hammer away in the final frame. Mikan grabbing a loose puck and putting it in a wide open net. That made it 8-2. They had a couple more and coast to a 10-2 win. And this is just
Well, on Saturday, the Cardinals were in East Bethel for the first of 5 straight road games, facing off against Northern Edge, which is a new co-op between St. Francis and North Branch. Northern Edge tied Mora-Malacca in the season opener, so both teams looking for their first win of the season. Northern Edge controlling the action in the first. Gavin Rentis from the top of the circle trickles through, and the home team has the lead after the first intermission. They added to the second. Ben Baumgart with speed into the zone finds Logan Kroll, the back post for redirect. Power play tally puts Northern Edge on top by 2. But the Cardinals answer with a power play goal of their own less than a minute later. Tyler Barsness with a strong wrist shot just inside the far post. The Cardinals grab the momentum. Well, they're going to even the score just 30 seconds later. Nate Klinsing holds on to the line. Ben Kish turns and scores in the slot. His first varsity goal makes it 2-2 going into the third period. Another power play, another goal for the Cardinals. Early in the third, this shot from the point is deflected, but Nathan Clark is there to put in the wide open net and give the Cardinals their first lead of the season. Nice goal there, and they're going to make it stick. They're going to get some insurance late in the period. Clark again in the high slot, able to fire a quick wrister past the keeper. Second of the period, third of the season, and it's going to give Coon Rapids a 4-2 win and their first win in almost 2 years.
Yeah, long time coming, but after the Blaine game, really the Bengals just so much speed, and that young Cardinals team just found themselves outmanned and really got frustrated in that third period, and the game got away from them. Could have been a closer score if they kind of held their heads. Both teams got a little chippy in that one. The fortunate thing about this season is the schedule features a lot of the single A teams.
Correct.
Northern Edge, a team that gives them a little more time and space to work with the puck. They come away with a win. something they desperately need after last year.
Well, it's a good bounce back, too, after that loss to Blaine, and you come back and you get a couple of goals to seal the victory, and that's got to feel good for the program because, as you say, we've got some opportunities to win some games early in the season, but it's going to get tougher as the season goes on.
Well, and this week they have 3 games on the schedule. 2 of them are against single-A teams. They're at Mora-Malacca on Tuesday. That's a team that Northern Edge tied in its season opener. Then they're at Totino Grace on Thursday, which will be definitely a strong team. And then they're at River Lakes on Saturday. So, a couple of games in there where they've got a little better chance to try and get some victories. And if they can get, a couple of wins early, helps with that confidence for sure.
It's a big builder for that conference, no doubt.
Well, the girls hockey team is on a winning streak after a successful trip up north this weekend, and it started with their first conference victory of the season. On Tuesday, Bluebirds were at the Crick hosting Osseo Park Center that had won 3 in a row. CPCR trying to get things turned around after losing 2 very close games to Blaine and Centennial. They used this game as a way to right their ship. No score until the second period. Kyla Ketting a long pass to Brianna Qualley. She uses her speed to gain the edge, and a pretty backhander up and over the keeper puts the Bluebirds on the board first. OPC able to answer on the power play late in the second period. Sam Boucher makes the initial save, but Grace Sticka able to hammer away at the rebound, and it slides in behind Boucher, evens the score at a goal apiece. Bluebirds retake the lead just before the break. Molly Terabeza getting in behind the defense, slips a shot short side, gives her team a 2-1 edge going to the final frame. Same score midway through the third. Brooklyn Johnson with a steal just inside the OPC zone, walks in and scores top shelf, giving the Bluebirds a little bit of cushion, 7 minutes to play. And it turned out that they needed it. Osseo Park Center with a 2-on-1 late in the game. Chloe Lewis puts it into a wide open net. Back to a 1-goal game with 2.5 minutes to play. For the Bluebirds are able to hold on from there and seal a 3-2 win.
Yeah, it's a good win for them, obviously, and they needed to continue to build the wins, obviously, and this was an opportunity that they didn't let that game slip away from them, and they were able to seal it.
Osseo Park Center has a pretty strong team this year. They had given Blaine a tough game, so knew that this was not going to be a walk in the park. But great to see them get that victory after 2 very close losses. And then they go up north. They face 2 very good single-A teams, including the defending single-A state champions from Proctor Hermantown, and they come away with a pair of victories. On Friday, the Cardinals faced Proctor Hermantown and won 4-2. Brooklyn Johnson, Kennedy Bolander, and Brianna Qualley had goals for the Cardinals in that one. Wastrel had 27 saves to get the win. Brooklyn Johnson had 2 goals in that one. And then on Saturday, they faced Cloquet Esco Carlton, which is ranked, I think, 3rd in the state, or 13th in the state right now.
Yep.
Emma Strauss and Brooklyn Johnson had the goals. Terabeza, Scott, and Ness all had assists. And the Bluebirds, for the first time this year, have a winning record at 4-3, 3 straight.
Yep, Proctor Herman. You talked about Proctor Hermantown is number 3. So really 2 quality, nice wins for the Bluebirds, and to get over 500, it's a great opportunity. And now they're getting a little bit of notice because they're in the polls under others receiving votes. So that's a great. I mean, it's not about the polls, but it's nice to get recognition from your peers.
100%. And the road is tough. They're at Rogers on Tuesday this week. It's their only game this week. Rogers is a very quality club, and then they have a rematch against Centennial Spring Lake Park, which is in that top 10, and they took them to overtime. And I thought for much of that Centennial Spring Lake Park game, the first meeting, that they outplayed them. And Howie?
Yep, we'll be there. Well, the wrestling team jumped into the season with both feet, hosting a tri-meet on Friday and a tournament on Saturday. It was a great way for this young team to get primed for what will be a demanding schedule. Friday's matches put them up against conference opponent Maple Grove and a decent 2A team from Zimmerman. Both teams struggling with numbers gave the Cardinals a lot of forfeit wins. Cardinals set the tone early against the Crimson. 8th grader Jack Bridenstine making quick work of Maple Grove's Evan Kilgard at 106, wraps him up in the cradle, gets the pin in 71 seconds. This match went fast with 5 forfeits and 7 pins. We saw the night there. Cardinals sophomore captain Carter Skradsky also using the cradle to finish fast. He gets the pin on Noah Fox. Senior captain Josh Du Bois has the fastest match of the night, using a headlock to take Grant Sandell to his back. Squeezes it tight for the pin in just 50 seconds. The Cardinals go on to a 56-24 win. Well, after Maple Grove beat Zimmerman, the Cardinals ready to take the mat again against the Thunder, and a similar result. 6 forfeit wins, 4 pins for the Cardinals. Starts with the Yaya Sibidi at 113. Good counter to get Bo Dipfley to the mat. He gets the pin in 333. Move to 138, Israel Madimba rotating his position, then just bull rushing Kellen Martin. Gets the slap on the mat late in the second period. Cardinals up 30-6. Sophomore captain Kenny Wells won a major decision against Maple Grove. Gets his first pin of the year against the Thunder, rolling Brooks Howard to his back for the slap just under a minute at 182. The Cardinals are going to get one more pin. It's going to come at heavyweight. Freshman Hayden Skillings putting Heath Lester to the mat late in the first period. Cardinals with another convincing win, assisted by 6 forfeits. 60-23 was the final.
Yeah, it was kind of a bizarre night. You know, I was there,
yes, you
watched
were.
all 3 matches.
Yes, you did.
So 3 matches, 14 weight classes per match. That's a total of 42.
Yep.
There were 17 forfeits, 20 pins. Only 5 matches that went the distance.
So, relatively speaking, you said it was a quick match for you. 3 matches for you, relatively speaking.
It was very quick. Yep. Each one only went about an hour, maybe even a little less. But, I mean, it was strange to see that many forfeits, and it was great to see that the Cardinals, you know, we talked about it in the preview. Their numbers are down a little bit, and that's one of their concerns is, depending on the matchups, there may be some spots where they're forfeiting, but they did not have a single one of those forfeits. But they're happy to take those free points. The only concern is if you take away those forfeits, Cardinals don't do it quite as well, especially against Zimmerman.
Right.
But you know, I think even without the forfeits, they still beat Maple Grove by like 1 point. But they end up losing in the matches that actually went to the mat against Zimmerman. So that's a minor concern, but it does give them a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, and it's early on as well.
And then on Saturday, they hosted the Board Highland Duels. They start with a 57-19 win over North Branch, but then lost to Princeton 52-15 and finished it up with a loss to Annandale Maple Lake 54-29. Lily had a nice night, or a nice day, I should say, at 126. Went 3-0 with a pin. Skills, the heavyweight, also went 3-0 with a pin. Carter Skradsky 2-1 with 2 pins, and Kenny Wells was 2-1 with a pin as well. Skradsky and Wells, the 2 sophomore captains, both getting their seasons off to pretty solid starts, and those are guys that they look forward to being able to lean on through the season. One bad note, Josh Du Bois actually hurt his shoulder in the last match on Saturday, so he could be out for the next week or 2, and that's really too bad for the senior captain who missed all of last year with an injury, and also one of the guys that they were looking for that type of leadership. But they had a couple of other guys that were not able to wrestle this weekend, including David Jeebley, who is new to wrestling, but I'm really looking forward to see what he can do, because he is a very strong young man.
Oh, he is strong.
And I pity the guy that tries to go in and take his legs out from him, because that would be a daunting task, no doubt. He's got tree trunks for legs.
He does.
But they've got another busy schedule this week. They're at Blaine with Centennial for a tri-meet on Thursday. They are at Andover on Friday. And then the Hastings duel on Saturday will feature, I think, 3 different ranked teams, including Hastings and conference or section opponent Forest Lake. But David Jeebley, I should say, wasn't able to wrestle because he had the high school football all-star game over the weekend. And congratulations on him for being able to be included in that, to be certain. Well, the gymnastics team opened its season on Thursday with a tri-meet against Osseo and Anoka. Tornado's squad is very strong, and with the Cardinals being as young as they are, this meet was more about finding out where they are to start the season than anything else. They got some good performances from their leaders, and now they have a baseline to work from for the rest of the season. We start on the vault. This is junior captain Lily Newton. A little step on the landing. That'll cost her. She finishes 13th with a score of 7.75. Fellow captain Bethany Witzke is up next. She has a little wobble on her landing, but able to hold it. Finishes a little better, a 7.9, which makes her 11th place. Junior Lana Vang gets maybe a little too much speed on her vault, steps over on the landing, still scores an 8.1, finishes with 10th place. Savannah Lusk on the beam, relatively smooth on the double back walkover. Then for the dismount, looks like Shapiro, a cartwheel right into a backflip, pretty solid on the landing, finishes 8th place on the beam with a 7.425. Junior captain Ada Drummy led the Cardinals in every event. She finished 4th on the vault and 7th on the beam. This routine earns her a 6.375 and an 8th place finish on the bars. Then on the floor, great tumbling run right here. Helps her to another 8th place finish with a 7.65. Drummy finished 5th in the all-around with a 30.325. Cardinals finished 3rd place with a team score of 109. And just for reference, Anoka was just shy of 140. I think they had like a 138. So they're scoring pretty well.
And I don't. My gymnastics are not that good, but usually when I do those kind of things, it's not on purpose. So
it's after attempting a half-court shot.
Half-court shot. Yep. Just rolling on the floor.
Well, the Cardinals are at Park Center next Wednesday. Then they will host Blaine and Centennial next Saturday. So no events for the gymnastics team this week. One of the great traditions that we missed out on last year is the boys basketball team has been starting the season against section rival Forest Lake the last few seasons, and it has led to some outstanding contests. Obviously, that didn't happen last year because of COVID.
Correct.
This year it did. It happened up in Forest Lake on Friday, and look at what the Cardinals did. 77-63 win over the Rangers. Elijah Smith just going crazy in game one. 27 points. MJ Galama added 14. Deng had 10, getting into double digits as well. Ellingson added 8. And Kaijon Cummings-Coleman, fresh to the floor, added 6 points. Just a sophomore. We had a lot of fun watching him. Really good athlete.
Yeah, really good.
He had a really solid football season and already contributing in game one for the boys basketball team. We are looking forward to getting our first chance to see them. They host St. Paul Harding for their home opener on Tuesday. And Howie,
we'll be there.
And then they will host Burnsville on Thursday.
I believe, though, they've changed that venue for Thursday. I think they're going to be at Burnsville because I was looking on their site today, and it looks like they changed it to an away game. So, but we did get I know you watched that boys basketball game.
I did watch it.
And I did as well. I did as well, and I thought Elijah Smith was just powerful underneath. I thought he did a really nice job.
MJ still he's a fun player to watch. Got great skills. He's exciting to watch.
I'm excited for this game. We'll get a chance to see him obviously tomorrow night if you're watching this live Tuesday night against St. Paul Harding. It'll be fun.
I look forward to it as well.
Well, the girls basketball team also opened its season against section rival last week, hosting Cambridge I-Santee on Tuesday. The Blue Jackets ended the Cardinals season in the quarterfinals last year, and they entered the season as a section favorite, one of the best players in the state leading the way. The Cardinals are young, and they knew they would have to limit Michaela Almer if they were to have a chance. Cards looking to get their big gun going early. Jenny Tomboy inside, getting the feed. Take that one way, then the easy kiss off the glass. The first score of the game. Tomboy doing a nice job leading the Cardinals offense, getting her points, all of her points from the floor. Beck kicks it out for an open three here. That gives Coon Rapids a 6-5 lead. As we mentioned, Tomboy had 11 of her points, all of her points in the first half. Unfortunately, Michaela Almer was catching fire at the other end, making it look easy from way outside the arc. That helped the Blue Jackets get in front, and they never looked back. Casey Beck with a nice drive to the basket to keep the Cardinals close midway through the first. All 7 of her points also coming in the first half. Almer, meanwhile, unconscious. She had 6 of the Blue Jackets' 10 first half three-pointers, and they went on to the locker room with a 50-27 lead. Second half, more of the same. Cardinals unable to get any offense going. Almer on the run, stops, then she pops, and she's going to finish with 33 points as Cambridge I-Santee coasts to the 81-39 win.
Yeah, she's
really
impressive.
Good. She didn't really have to score much in the second half. I think what she just had,
6 points. Yeah,
but
she had 27. She had 22 points in the first 9 minutes of the game.
Yeah, she was unconscious, as we said.
Like you said, she had 6 3-pointers. The team had 10 3-pointers in the first half. And the second half, Cardinals only able to muster 12 points. I think they were outscored something like 39-12 in the second half. But Armour kind of let the rest of the team catch up. She had 35 in the season opener, 33 against the Cardinals. She'll be in the talks at the end of the year
she's very good.
For Player of the Year in the state of Minnesota. She could do it all, and the shot was, from way outside, 3-4 feet outside the arc. Didn't seem to phase her at all. Cardinals are at Elk River on Tuesday. They will host Rogers on Friday. And Howie,
we'll be there.
Well, the swimming and diving team, as I mentioned earlier, starts its season with the conference relays on Saturday, and then they have their first duel against Anoka next week. Cardinals are coming off a strong season, but they have a lot of pieces they need to replace. While their numbers are down, they're all ready to step up, and they're excited to dive into what will hopefully feel a little more normal this year.
It's good to get back and good to be with, the guys, and they're excited. We had a really good team meeting the first day, and everyone was just pumped to get in the water and get going. So
last year, winter athletes were happy to have a season, but it came with a lot of changes that took away a big part of the extracurricular experience.
It feels good. Like last year, we had a weird season. Like we couldn't go to invite meets, and we couldn't do a lot of the fun team activities. But I'm really looking forward to that this year. Like playing with the team, more pasta parties and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's the part that most athletes say keeps them involved in their sports. The competitions are great, but it's the friendships and the support of teammates that they cherish the most.
It's a good outlet for me. That's the biggest thing. That and friends, and the swim team is my second family. And I can honestly say that it's changed my life. It's made me just feel more confident about myself. And
last season, the Cardinals had one of their best teams in years, but they lost a lot to graduation. Fortunately, they returned some key pieces, and everyone in the pool is committed to getting right back where they were.
It's hard to replace those kind of numbers. It doesn't make it any easier. So, but we have a lot of really experienced guys coming back. We have a lot of fast guys coming back, and I'm excited for the new guys. They show a lot of promise.
This is definitely a rebuilding year, but I'm seeing a lot of swimmers step up even in this first week, just moving up a lane, working harder in practice. Some swimmers we might not have expected to be doing as well as they are, and that's really exciting.
The Cardinals have a strong group of seniors leading the way, and the captains are doing everything they can to help their younger teammates get up to varsity speed. But they say they get just as much inspiration in return, knowing they're part of this team.
I guess I definitely look forward to the meets. I really love the atmosphere. We got the team atmosphere there that's really positive and makes you want to swim fast.
The Cardinals' numbers are down a bit this year, but that just means the coaches will be able to give each athlete more attention to help them improve even faster. And at the end of the season, it's all about their individual achievements.
I just love being on the pool deck and seeing people, have success and work hard and seeing that work pay off. I think there's nothing better as a coach than seeing somebody that they've been putting in the work all season, and at the end of the season, they have some really fast swims and some great times. And
so, as I mentioned, the conference relays on Saturday, and that's more of a fun thing just to kind of get an idea of what they have against some of the other teams in the conference, and then they're at Anoka, and that'll really give them a great idea because Anoka is a pretty strong team this year. This is kind of a swan song this season. Tyler Schultz, a senior and a captain. We saw the shot in there. His name is up on the board.
Yep.
His sister's name is up on the board a lot.
A couple more times.
But he's got a couple of records, and I asked him about it, and he, kind of jokingly, is it intimidating? Does she give you a hard time? He says no, but the guy's times are really fast. He is hoping that he can break maybe one or two more this year if possible. Coach Donaldson talked about, he does have a chance at a couple of those other records that he could maybe knock off, but it really depends on, what he's swimming at what times in the year. you know, a really great, kind of the first family of swimming, Cardinal swimming, for the
definitely.
last 5 or 6 years. They have been a lot of fun to watch, and hoping that Tyler can close out his season and his career very strong. But you know, they're excited, even though they have those smaller numbers with the guys that they have, and everybody came in shape. You know, and Coach Donaldson talked a little bit about that. He said, you know, part of it might be that last year we came in off of, you know, it was the middle of COVID, so a lot of guys really hadn't been doing anything, and now they're coming in, they're really in good shape, and so they're excited with where they are.
Yeah, always excited to get the season started, and I'm always excited to get Coach Donaldson's emails that he sends. Always informative, always a little sense of humor in it, and I definitely enjoy that.
Well, now also, as I talked about at the top of the show, the Nordic ski team, they are scheduled to have an age group skate race at Elm Creek on Friday. That's, of course, weather permitting. Northwest Suburban Conference skate race 5K is at Elm Creek on Tuesday the 21st. Hopefully the weather will turn a little cooler between now and then. We're hoping, you know, we're going to try and get the preview done this week or next week. We may have it for next week's show. We may have it for the following week. It really depends, partly on weather and also on staffing. But we are going to get to them.
Well, that skate race
get to them.
It may have to be on roller skates, if, depending on how soon they get a chance to do it.
It's, you know, and that's the roll of the dice every year with the Nordic ski team. Is, you know, you have to get cooperation from Mother Nature, and everybody outside of the Nordic ski team is going, no, we can wait. We can wait.
Snow.
We don't need snow.
Yeah.
We don't need it. And hey, if they don't get started until after the first of the year, they're in no worse position than they were last year. Right?
Exactly.
The Alpine ski team has its first race scheduled for next Thursday at Trollhagen. Again, weather's supposed to get into the 40s next week, so we'll kind of keep our fingers crossed. But you know, at least on the big hills, they're able to make
man-made snow. Yep.
So. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. Again, we got a lot of stuff coming up for you. Boys basketball home opener against St. Paul Harding on Tuesday. Girls basketball hosting the Rogers Royals on Friday. Girls hockey against Centennial Spring Lake Park at the Crick on Tuesday the 14th. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including the maestro behind the camera, Tom Cornell, and my partner, Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young.